Welcome back, everyone. I'm Bridget, also known by Chaotic Good here on YouTube and Depop and other reselling marketplaces. Today, I would like to share with you some items that sold in February on Depop. Have to say, it was not the greatest month for sales. I know a lot of people who I talked to were saying that they had slow sales in February as well. So we'll go through these. There's some good, interesting sales in this batch, but there's not very many of them. So the first item that sold on February 2nd, 2022 was this 1960s Hollywood Vassaret brand red lace bullet bra. And I thought this was a really interesting item. I learned about whirlpool stitching, which is a one stitch as opposed to a series of circle stitches. The whirlpool stitch goes round and round. I was able to find an ad for this item from the 1960s, and it's not a lot of these out there, as you can imagine. So I found a sold comp on Etsy for a black one of these, I think for $125. I decided to part with this one for $70, which was not too shabby because I got it from the bins where you pay by the pound. So I probably had about 50 cents into this item. Actually, the woman who purchased it found it first on Poshmark, and we were going back and forth a little bit, and I was trying to decide whether or not to accept her offer. And then she liked it over on Depop. And at that point, I reached out to her and said, "Hey, listen, I see you've liked this item. Would you I'd take the offer you made over on Poshmark here on Depop because the fees are better. Fees are lower on Depop than they are on Poshmark." So she went ahead, we worked it out, and she got this for $70, and I'm happy to send it to a new appreciative home. Next up was a vintage polo Ralph Lauren golf/baseball cap that had a little crest and clubs on it. And some of these caps don't go for very much, but this one in much better condition was selling for more. But I had it listed at $50 and I had a negotiation with the buyer. We settled on $40. So that was a great sale. Also this was from the free pile that one of my neighbors put out. So I didn't pay a thing for this. I did kind of give it a good soak and a good wash because it had been in his basement, I think, for a while. But $40 out of nothing, except for a little bit of work, is good. I like that a lot. On the 11th, I had a couple sales. The first one being this full price sale for these corduroy pants in the trending colors of lilac/lavender. So these were vintage pants, size small, full price sale for $40. Very excited to send those off to their new home. And then another trending vintage item, which is the Y2K maxi skirt in a floral print, and this one was a burgundy and orange print. Very pretty. I believe this was a bins purchase as well, and it sold for $14. Not a gigantic sale, but quick profit that I'm happy to make. Then there was a big lull until the 22nd, and at that point I took an offer on this black midi skirt. It was a nice full skirt from, and I do not know how to say this brand, Sherigano Studio. Sold for $15. Buyer paid shipping. And then right away on the 23rd, I sold an Eileen Fisher sweater, which seems a little, it's not a brand I would expect to sell on Depop necessarily, but it was a very pretty sweater, finely knit, black and gray stripes. I think I had used the hashtags or style tags of grunge and goth, and it sold on a discount. I had marked it down from $45 to $40, and that's the point at which it sold. Next up, a Tommy Bahama shirt, plaid silk shirt in men's size large, sold for full asking price of $25. Tommy Bahama used to sell a little bit better, a little bit quicker, but I think it's still worth picking up if you can get it cheap enough. And we're going into that season where folks are looking for kind of either the Hawaiian shirts or the tiki shirts, more casual button downs. Next up was this super cute pair of an overall dress or pinafore that was black with some little flowers, sold for $15. It was just Exhilaration brand, which is, I don't know if that's Target or JCPenney or Walmart, not a really fancy brand, obviously, but the style was really cute. And we're going into spring. It's a good transition piece. So that sold for $15 after being listed for just a couple of weeks. So we're in the home stretch. Only 3 more sales for the short month of February, short on sales as well. I sold a pair of Forever 21 red belted trousers. They were in really good condition and they were size medium. They sold for $13 plus shipping. So, and they were under £1, which is nice for pants when they're under £1 because they can ship for $5 or less. Next up is this blast from the past. These are now going by the name of Baja Jackets. I don't know if that's what we called them when I was in college, but we certainly wore them, and I think I got rid of mine a couple of years ago. Should have hung on to it. This sold for $21. I believe the buyer made an offer to me or reached out in a message, and I agreed to drop the price from $30 to $21 because it was a bins fine, not very expensive. So that went to Florida, one of my common places that I am able to send items to. And then the final sale for February was this pair of Levi's 505 regular fit 10-inch inseam shorts for men. They sold for full asking price at $20, and we were all thinking spring thoughts at that point. So another great sale. So very light month on sales on Depop. March went much better with some promotions that Depop was doing, and I also increased the number of items I was listing that month. So I think that made a big difference, and I'll be coming back hopefully in about a week with the sales for the month of March. Stay tuned and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.